Hi guys, welcome to the basic Scouring map editor tutorial, and in this video I'll just show you all the things that you will need to start with making your first maps in the Scouring editor. So the first thing you want to do is to join the Discord for Scouring, which you can really easily do by starting the game, Scouring demo on Steam, and then clicking on this button, join our Discord channel. This way you will join the community on Discord where you can get the editor itself. So now we just close the game. I will open Discord, and here I'm already on the server. It has this icon, the Scouring, and the first thing you just need to do here is go into announcements, and right now the last post that is here is associated to the editor, so that's what we need to do. So we open this, we go and click on the first link here, and it will open, I have it on my second screen here, it will open this small text, let's say, where the devs are talking some basic information about the editor and all the modding that you can do. But the important thing for us is this first download link where you can download the dev build and the mod editor. So you will just click on this, it will download the zip file, and then we can take a look on that. So I'll open my folder. Here I have all the files that you will get. So you will get a DevTools zip file, you will unzip it, open it, and you will see all of these files here. First thing you want to do after you have this is open bin editor and double click on the Scouring editor exe file. This should start the editor. This is how it should look like for you. So you have this basic grid, kinda gray background, and some files here on the left side. You probably won't have all of these here yet, but something like this, it should look like that. Basically on the right side it's empty. On the bottom you have some comments. There is nothing really complicated for now. Don't worry about anything that you don't understand. You really need only the basic stuff to be able to create your map. So for now, don't really think about it too much. If we want to create our first scenario map, all you need to do, scenario map is a map for multiplayer or single player where you just play with AIs, pretty normal game, yeah? With AIs or players, so there are no special code that would be used, for example, for a campaign. We are just creating a map, nothing extra to it like dialogues or quests or whatever. Yeah, just a basic map for custom games. So that's the goal for today. The first thing you want to do is left click here on the mods, then right click on it and click on create new mod. It will create a file here that will be named by some random code. You don't have to worry about it, but it's a new folder here, and it's the one on the top always. So we'll click on it, we'll click on this plus icon, and we can already see that there is some file inside of it. Now I will right click on this and click on new map/scenario. There is some files here, XML and other. If you want to study this a little bit more, once again, go on the Discord and click on these links to open the written guides where you can study more information for it. But in this video, I will keep it as simple as possible so you can really easily follow. Yeah. So once again, what I did here, I right clicked on this folder that we created as a new mod, and I clicked on new map/scenario. Once we have this, we have to name the map. This is really important, or sorry, not the map, the terrain. This is really important. If you not name it correctly, you won't be able to later publish the mode, yeah, the map. So this is really important. The name has to start like this, level, and then this line on the bottom. And then you can write some text behind it. So for example, test 3 for me now, because I already did some test maps. If you write something that it doesn't support, like a space or a big letter, and try to click on OK, it will tell you that you have to use only lowercase letters, digits, and these symbols that I forget the name of, but you know, of course, what I'm talking about. You can also copy it from the text file, of course, of the written guide. So yeah, level, this symbol, and then some name. Then we bring this, this is just the size of the map, so I will just bring it to same value, for example 20 blocks by 20 or like 10 by 10, whatever you want. Let's do 20 by 20 for now, and it will create a map based on this size. And here you have just default, so you don't really have to change it to anything, there is nothing else, and you click on OK. It will pop up a new window. The Scouring editor could not load terrain data file, create it. Yeah, we will just click on yes, which is the button on the left. I have it in check, but it should be pretty intuitive. Click on yes, and it will create our first map. We can see there is some basic terrain. We can't see much of the map, but we will quickly fix that. The basic navigation around the map if you want to move around, it's really simple. With your mouse wheel button, you can of course scroll to unzoom and scroll to the other direction to zoom in. So that's really simple. If you click with left mouse button and hold the button somewhere, you can rotate by moving your mouse like this. And where you have the cursor and where you click is where you will have the center of that rotation. So if you click here on the top, you will be rotating around that point. If you click down here, you will be rotating around this point. Another thing you can do is to click and hold Control, and then with your left mouse button move like this. Yeah, so I'm holding Control, holding left mouse button and moving my mouse to move around the map. And last thing you can do is to hold Control and Shift, and then once again left mouse button to rotate from your point of view. So those are all the things you can do here to control the map. Right now I actually created something here, or maybe that's the map. Don't really worry about this. If you won't have that there, that's really not important at all. But what we want to do now is, before we start adding anything to the map, you want to save it. So I'll just press Ctrl S, and then you can also just do it here on the top side, in the top left corner, click on File and click on Save, or you can just click here on the Save icon and it will also save the map, but you can just press Ctrl S as a keybind and it will also do the same. And now we'll go back into the folder where we have the files that we downloaded. I'll go back from bin editor to DevTools, and instead of bin editor, I will open only bin. I will click on the Scouring release. This is a new exe file that will be basically our test game. It will open a new game, and here what you want to do is press Ctrl and N, and it should open this new window load level. Yeah, so Ctrl and N, and here I can already see level test 3. So this is the map I created. If I click on it, you can see also unpacked here. That should be there if you just created it. You click on it, you click on OK, it should load the map and you should be already able to see it, even though there is nothing now. Yeah, so you can only see the square, but we already created the map, so you can see that it's already openable. You don't really need to do this. I'm just showing you that you can later maybe test something here. So we just exit it, go back into the editor, and let's do some first editing. The first thing you usually want to do is create some layers, or let's say textures on the ground. So I would usually start with grass. You can see it here on the right side. This is where we have terrains, and this is where we will be adding all the things to the map. So I will go into terrains, blocks, layers, and here I have number 1, grass. So what you want to do is, once again, left click on it to select it, and then right click and create layer map file. Once you do this, you will have a new window here that is called brush, and you have few options here. You have size, you have value, and then you also can change here something. For example, for grass you can't really change it to anything else, but sometimes you will have more options there, so I will show you once we get to that. But for now we just need to worry about size and value. Right now we have a brush for grass, so we will be creating grass. As you can see, I just move my mouse on the map and you can see that there is already a small white circle. If I zoom in, it's of course a little bit bigger, but in comparison to the map, it's really small. And if I want to cover a bigger area of the map with grass, this will be really difficult. So what I will do is just bring this a little bit higher to increase the size of my brush. For example, like this. You can also use the keybinds by holding Shift and then pressing R or T to increase it and decrease it. Same with Control for the value. The value basically means like density or intensity, how much grass you will have on that one place. So maybe we can increase this to like 80 or even 90 to make it really dense grass. Now I will use my right mouse button to draw on the map. And once you see this red area there, you know that you are drawing. If it's not doing anything, when we are pressing the right mouse button, try to adjust the value first, and then it should start working for you. So what I will do now is cover, like let's say this area of the map with grass, maybe even a little bit more. And now what you need to do is click anywhere on this right side in the scene view, or you can click on something else, but into the blank space is the easiest with your left mouse button, and it will calculate the grass, and as you can see it's already nicely there. If we zoom in, we can see the texture pretty clearly. So yeah, that's the basic. We can add other things. So if I, for example, want to add some dirt, we can also do that. So I'll once again click on this, create layer map. I have the same size and everything that I chose for the brush. I just have a different layer. So this time I will maybe draw the other side of the map with the dirt to create some something different, yeah, some contrast. I will just once again click here, and now we have dirt texture here. So the next thing you probably want to do is add some water, which is pretty common in Scouring. Basically, you'll probably find it on all maps. So if you want to add some water, what you need to do is click here on water formation. You just click on it with left mouse button, nothing extra. And once again, we have size, we have value, but this time you also have the option to create deep or shallow water. Shallow water is, of course, walkable, so you can walk through it. Deep water is something that is just like a mountain or something. It's a block, you can't pass through that. So for now, I'll just create deep water. I'll maybe decrease the size of the brush a little bit because it's a little bit too large. And now I will draw across this line to create water between the two sides of the map we created. Once I make sure everything is red, I will click somewhere away. Make sure it's the value is okay, otherwise you'll have some gaps between the water. It's pretty weird. So let's just click away, and we have a really nice water. And now if I want to remove it here in the middle and create a ford there by making the water shallow, I will once again click on water formation with my left mouse button. And now I will stay on the deep water. I will bring the value to 0. As you can see, it basically becomes black, the brush. And now with my, once again, right mouse button, I can easily erase the value like this. And now I can swap to shallow water, bring this once again higher, maybe to like 80. And I will draw here, once again with a right mouse button, in the area I just deleted. And all I need to do now is click away, and we have a nice ford here. If you want to check the passability, I mean, you can already kind of see that there is some texture of some rocks or the dirt below the water that is not here on the sides, or at least not that much. But if you want to really check where you can walk through it, here on the left side we have a minimap, and below it we have the button Show Game Grid. If you click on this, it will show you these colors on the map. You have to be zoomed in a little bit. If you unzoom a lot, you won't really see anything, but if you zoom in, you should nicely see these colors. And there is 3 colors that you can see. There is blue, which means shallow water. You can walk through these areas, so this is what we need to have here on the ford, which we have. Then you have red, which is around the map. So if I zoom here, it will be here, that's the edge of the map, and also in the deep water. But also water always has blue, so now when I have blue and red together, it's purple. But purple is equivalent to red. You just can't walk through there. The only area where you can walk through is the blue, and where you don't have anything, it's of course not water, and you can walk there. By the way, when I talked about the minimap, you can also always just double click here anywhere you want, and it will bring your camera there. So if you want to reposition, you can also utilize this. Maybe if you load a map, the camera is usually out of position often, so this is the way to fix it. Let's remove the grid for now so it doesn't distract us, and let's create some more things for the water, because maybe you already saw that there is not only water formation, but there is also water map option in the blocks. So this is what we'll pick now. Let's click on it, and we have once again size and value here, and there is also this option down here, this time between edge mask and speed. Edge mask is something we can use immediately, and we will do it now, because this way you can remove those small rocks that you can see. Maybe let's remove it for now so you can see it more clearly. But as you can see, there is some small rocks here on the water, at the edge of the water with the land. So if you want to remove these rocks, all you need to do is just click on the water map, click on edge mask. Maybe let's reduce the size a little bit here, and here you can see the rocks. I will paint over them with my right mouse button. I need to change the value a little bit once again, probably. I will paint over it, and it just removed the rocks here. Yeah? So if you want to remove some rocks there, either on the fort or on the other areas where the fort is not there, you can definitely do this. Yeah? Maybe could make sense here that some units are walking through here, so the rocks would be already away from that area. as they are kicking into them, but it's kind of up to you. Yeah, this is not a major change, I think. But it's one thing you can do here with the water in terms of visuals. The second thing we can do is the speed, but for this to be actually usable, you first have to create a river, because for now we only have a water formation here, but it's not actually a river yet. If you want to create it into a river, you have to add a river there. So we will click on terrain with our left mouse button here in the right scene view. Now we will click with our right mouse button anywhere on the map. So for example here, and I will click on add river. If we click on add river, it will add this river to the map. And as you can see, it has two anchor points. It has point 0 and point 1. And we can easily see them here on the right side. If we click on the river and on this small plus icon, it will open all the points in it. And we can see 0 and 1. If I click on them, I can already move them around. What I would recommend to do immediately is to click here. And you can either right click here on one of the points, or right click on the river, or right click even here, doesn't really matter. But I would recommend to right click on one of the points and add a point. For example, if I right click on this one, I will add point after, and now I have 3 points, so I can move with the river more. You can add them later, but it's good to do it immediately. Now I will just take the point 0 and I will bring it to the edge here. By the way, if you want to increase the size of the river, you can use this center of the point, the white dot, and if you hold it, you can increase the size like this. So that could be kinda useful to cover the whole water surface if you need to do that. Now I will click on point 1, bring it once again somewhere, bring the point 2 to the end. On the other side, of course, if you would be actually making a whole map, you would play with this a little bit more. I'm just making sure you know how this works, but I'm not really gonna polish this too well. But let's make sure it doesn't look too bad. Yes, so once again I will move this a little bit further here. Now the point 1, we also need to increase this, move it here. And yeah, you would of course make more points, so maybe let's add another point here. Now we have 1 point here. And I think this looks kind of fine. Yeah, maybe it's a little bit too big, so you can like decrease the size, but overall I think it looks pretty decent. Yeah, maybe let's not even decrease it. Maybe the point 1 is a little bit too big. But yeah, now we have the river there, so that's the thing we needed. As you can see, it should probably go all the way to the end, so if you have something like this, just make sure you drag it outside of the map even, that doesn't really matter. But it has to cover all the surface of the water here. And now I will just go back into the water map, click on it, click on speed, and now maybe let's increase the size a little bit. So this is the size of the river approximately. And now I will draw with my right mouse button through the river where we made it. So like this. This time it's blue, not red. And once I cover the whole area, I will click away. And as you can see, there is already flowing water in the river, which makes it look, of course, way better. And we actually did it kind of nicely. It's going basically almost to the edges. You can even see some movement here on the edges, so that's basically perfect. Here on the sides, it's a little bit more calm water, but I don't think it's even that big of a problem. Yeah, it could still be polished more, but it actually looks pretty decent already. So this is the way you can create some flowing water in the rivers and make it even more interesting by making it dynamic. What we will do now is use some distribution, which is here on the side, to create some forest. Because if you want to create a forest, it of course usually consists of a lot of trees. It doesn't have to be only forests, but basically anything where you need to place many of the same entities on one place, like for example forests, you want to use distributions. This basically allows you to pick specific entities and put them into a pool that you can later use as a brush. So we will just right click on the distributions, click on add distribution. You can name this however you want. Let's name it tree or trees. Click on OK. It created empty distribution. Now we won't worry about this brush yet. First thing we need to do is make sure we have selected empty distribution, which is by default here. And then we go down here where we can see brushes. And we see edit and press. So we will press. Let's follow their hints. And it opened a new window which is called distribution brushes. And we have all the available brushes that we can utilize. So what I will use here is first and first underwood, which is the basic for creating forests. I will just click on them and bring them here. I think you can also bring them maybe with enter or something, or double clicking on them. If you don't like something, you can just bring it back like this again. Double clicking also works, yes, so that's maybe easier. Once we have the brushes selected here that we want to have, we click on OK, and you can already see that they are written here in the distribution. So this is the brush that consists of first and first underwood. Now I can use the brush, I can adjust the size, I can adjust the value, and there is even density scale, but for now let's focus on this mainly. And I will just cover this whole area once again with right mouse button. It will be red again, and I will create a nice forest with many trees. Maybe let's create one here and one more here on the top. Everything is ready. Let's click away. It calculates everything, and we can see that there are already some forests. By the way, if you want to see more or less, you can always just move around with the windows. Everything is pretty customizable. So now we can see there's lots of trees, huge forests. If you would want to place all of this there manually one by one, it would take forever. So this is a really easy way of creating something like this. If you would want to add an entity alone, for example a tree, all you need to do is just first of all click on terrain here on the right side again, then right click somewhere and click on add plant. It will open this, and here you can just, for example, find the fur. Click on it, click OK, and you can just place a single tree here. You can move it around, rotate it, whatever you want, and once you are satisfied, you just click away and you have a single tree here. So that's another way of doing that, but once again, if you would want to create a whole forest this way, it would take forever. So this is a really easy way of doing that. Once again, we can check some grid, but for now actually that's not even really showing us anything. So yeah, pretty simple. This is the way of creating some forests and other things where you need to create brushes to place lots of entities at once. But now we'll take a look on a really good thing that is called references, and this way you can add elements to the map that are basically more complex, and they are pre-created by the developers for you, so you don't even have to worry about them. You can of course create your own ones, but if you want to use the ones from basic maps that are already created in the game, you can use it. I'm talking, for example, mainly about camps, gold fields, towers, things like that. So now I will move my camera a little bit. Most of the time I'm using just my mouse, not even touching keyboard, to make it really easy for you to digest, but now of course I have to hold control to move around. So let's move to this side of the map, so we also add something here. And what I will do is click on references, right click, add reference, and you can see the list of possible references already here. You can read through them, but for example we can click on neutral goblin camp. You probably all know that. It's the camp with goblin archers. We click on OK, and as you can see there is already a whole goblin camp. So let's move it around a little bit, position it to the position we want to have it there, and then just click away. As you can see, it's already looking pretty good. It placed for us down these 2 goblin huts and also 7 goblin archers. But if you want to fix it to actually make it look correctly, one thing you need to do always with references is to once again click on terrain, right click somewhere and click on the first option, which is rebuild terrain. I will click on this, and as you can see it actually fixed the textures and everything, and now we can see that there is also some grass, so it nicely blends in. If it would be on the other side of the map where I have grass on the ground, it would look even better, but even here it already looks pretty decent. So this way you can add basically anything. As I said, there is for example a gold default here that we can just move around and add some gold patches. So I'll move it here, maybe rotate a little bit, click away. It doesn't even display this time, but once again click on terrain, right click here, rebuild terrain, and it will nicely show here. So we have some gold patches here, pretty sweet. You can add like really anything there, just go through it. I think there is the dark tower somewhere as well. You have wolves, some troll caves. Yeah, here is the dark tower, some small lake even. You can really just take a lake here and place it here. It's a little bit bigger of course, but you can always work with it, and it can really save you some time if you need to create some nice environment or camps or whatever. So yeah, once again click on terrain, rebuild terrain, and we have some small lake here. Once again with game grid I can click on it. As you can see it's deep water, so it's not walkable through with units. Also there is edge of the map, so This is another thing that will be displayed here, but it has lots of textures here. You can see some water flowers, yeah, lots of bushes and stuff, so it's actually looking pretty decent. And to create this manually, it will take some time, so this way you can save a lot of time and quickly cover the map with some nice visuals. One more thing that I will talk about is mountains, because we have trees, we have water, so the last logical step is mountains. You can use for that landforms here on the right side. You don't even have to you have to right click on it, but you just click on the add landform, and you have only 8 options here. So let's, for example, choose Dark Mountain Sea. Choose it, okay. It placed it here, as you can slightly see it already, but it's also sand colors, so not ideal on this position, but I will move it here a little bit. And you can also, once again, with the middle, scale it a little bit. You can even see the scale number here. Default is like 10 something. You can scale it all the way up to 2, or you can just make it smaller if you want to 0.5, but I will make it like really big now. And once again, click away, and it will add this mountain here. If you have like unpassable areas, it will usually fix itself. Actually, seems like the mountain is going below the river, which actually looks kinda cool. But if, for example, I would have trees here, if we take a look on the grid, all these red areas would remove the trees. Only in the playable area, by the way, so behind this line it would keep them, but here it would remove them so it doesn't collide together. Of course, for example, this area you can still walk, so trees would remain there. Not just trees, but basically anything that can be used in any way. So yeah, that should be pretty simple. I think this is really everything you need to know, guys. Just play with it. If you want to add individual models, you can always just, once again, click on terrain with left mouse button, right click into the space. It's the same options you have here on the right side. You can add units, for example, but you don't really want to do that, of course, for a skirmish map. Same with buildings, even custom models for some small mountain chunks, blocks, even a small wooden bridge, even though you can also add that with a reference. I think that is a small bridge somewhere that could be utilized. Yeah, actually the first one, yeah, so you can really play with it, try to create some nice environments. Maybe it doesn't have to be playable maps at first at all, just try to practice with the editor a little bit to get used to it, maybe all the controls and everything. I still struggle with the camera a little bit because it's really different from other editors I'm used to. But overall, I think it's pretty easy editor to start with if you have this basic information that I hopefully gave you today. Last thing you need to do before you make this into an actual map is, of course, to add player slots. So first thing I would need to do is get some more gold patches there. Then I would click on player slot, right click on it, add player slot. I would position it right in front of the gold field. Yeah, let's click away again, add another player. This will be player 2, once again next to another gold field that I don't have here now, but you get the point. Maybe it could be on the other side of the map or whatever. And if you have the skirmish map set up, which was made with the name of the map that we chose in the beginning, you can already see the starting building here, so that's really nice. It also says player 1, player 2, and that's basically all we need to set up now. So once the map is ready like this and you want to publish it, first of course you would just save it with Ctrl S. You would go into the folder I showed you, click on Scouring release, test it a little bit, yeah, whatever. But once you are ready to publish it, everything seems fine, you will just close this. So we can click on File, Close File. Once you saved it, of course, yes, so save. Then click on Close File. And now we have the mode here that we created. What you need to do is right click on this mode, click on Publish Mode, write the name of the map. So for example, this time it can be Test 3. And then you click on Auto Generate. It will create a small miniature, yeah, like a small image of the map you created. Of course, this looks pretty bad, but we didn't really add much detail there. But it's already created for you. Don't need to change anything. We can even keep like everything here. You can even write some note here. Yeah, so it's good to, for example, put your name here, so you can later easily find the map, but really doesn't matter that much. And once everything is ready, you just click on Publish. It will publish the map, uploading content. It will be in the workshop on Steam. And you can already see it created some more things here. I think if we restart the editor, we should see even a little bit more. Let's try to do that. Bin editor, scouring editor. And yeah, you can already see that here we have the name of the map that we created. That is also already pre-built. Yeah, once again, all of these names of the folders and what the files do, you can find it in the written guide. I'm not diving too deep into this in this guide. But yeah, now the map should be ready. So if you want to find the map, also if you create some mods that you want to delete later, you will need to go into the workshop. Actually, you can delete it here. But if you want to find the map, you can easily go and search for Steam Scouring just on your internet, browser. Click on the first link, Scouring on Steam. I have it in Czech once again, but hopefully you will understand the positions and everything. All you need to do now is scroll down. Down here you will click on Visit Workshop. And here on the right side you can just click on Show your items in the workshop. You can also just click here and browse through them, but for now we are trying to look for ours, so let's click on our workshop. And here you can already see all the maps. So this is the test 3 that we just created. I can click on this map, and as you can see, everything is here as we as we made it. If you will want to delete a map because you just created it by mistake, you made too many mods, for example, all you need to do is just click here on delete and it will be deleted. So that's really pretty simple. I don't think there is anything more to this. By the way, if you delete the map here, you will still see it in the editor, but then you can actually delete it in editor. Yeah? So if you want to actually delete a mod that you created, you will delete it here after you find it. Then you will go, you will still see it here, but now I would need to close the editor, go into DevTools that we downloaded, go into Media, into Mods, and here you will have to delete the folder to also make it disappear from the editor. But it's just an extra step. Yeah, usually you probably won't have to worry about this too much. I will try to follow the written guide, so I will also show you some extra tips that are shown there. At this point you guys received all the information that you actually need to start making the maps, so you can of course go and enjoy the editor, explore it yourself, but if you want to hear some more tips, definitely let's take a look on them. So now I will once again open this with the plus icon, and I will double click here on the map in the pre-build. The pre-build is the editing thing that you are using to change the map, and then we have other files that are used only for publishing, but as I said, I won't dive into that too deeply. One more thing you can use here is a sketching tool. So you can once again right click here on the terrain or anywhere and click on Show Sketch, and it will add another option here above the blocks, which is Sketch, and you usually want to bring this with the value all the way to 1. You can also increase the size a little bit, and now with the right mouse button I can draw around the map. So maybe you can create like an X here, maybe a circle. I click away and I can see some sketches here. So you can maybe sketch a layer of the map or something like that, and if you don't want to see it, then you just click on hide sketch and it disappears. And you can once again show it, it appears again. If you want to delete it actually, then you once again open sketch, choose the brush, increase the size, decrease the value, and delete it as any other texture completely. And I can once again still hide the sketch if I don't want it. So there's another tool you can use here, of course not really doing anything to the map, but it can be practical for some assistance, let's say, if you want to do that. I think this is really like all the basic stuff. You can also right click here on the terrain and do rescale terrain, or once again anywhere on the map, rescale terrain, and you can change the whole size of the map and everything will adjust to it, but you can't revert this, so you can probably adjust it back to the same blocks, but yeah, just be careful with this. Usually probably shouldn't be really needed to use, but you can use this if you will want to resize your whole map. Then there is a tool for that. So I think this is really everything, guys, for this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, definitely let me know in the comments. I will try to answer them if I will know the answer. If not, I will try to find it for you. But of course, the easiest way, of course, will be probably asking on the Discord that I showed you in the beginning of the video how to join, and asking the developers themselves. Yeah, there is Wopley, who is the leader here, and he will provide you with all the information for the editor or any other questions you will have about the game. So this is the easiest way to get some extra information that I might have missed in this video, but I hope it helped you. I think this is like the main barrier for many players to dive into it, because when I started the editor for the first time, it was really overwhelming for me. I think overall it's not that difficult, but I still think, for example, something like Armies of Exigo editor or even Warcraft 3 editor are much easier, like way more intuitive, let's say. There is way more options, but also this is like an early stage, of course. It will get more options later, but it wasn't that intuitive for me, so I really needed that written guide that fortunately we received from the developers. So I studied it a little bit and was able to provide you with this basic information. Yeah, so all the things we went through today were basically from this written guide, Scouring Map Editor basic guide, which you can find on the Discord once again in this first link. There is one more link that basically shows you some basic modding guide where you can adjust values of units and things like that. I didn't cover this in this video. I didn't even study it myself yet. It's not that interesting for me yet. I think the basic map making was the main stuff that needed to be covered here, so that's what I focused on. Maybe I will cover this later. For now, I felt like this was the really important stuff. So yeah, I'm really looking forward, guys, to seeing some of your maps, of course, or any other projects that you decide to work on. Right now, I think the editor is not connected to multiplayer yet, so you can't use the maps in multiplayer, but you can already start preparing them, test them in single player, and later, of course, once the early access is released in like 2 months, I believe, or even sooner, we'll see, we should be able to use the maps in multiplayer and everything, so you can already start working on anything you want, and you should be able to use it pretty soon. So hey guys, once again, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, guys.